What's poppin', guys? You got your coach of the Chim Chargers for our GBA Semifinals team analysis. Going to be taking on Jolt of the Kansas City Jirachiefs, and he has a team of Celesteela, Hydreigon, Arcanine, Mega Venusaur, Seismitoad, Aerodactyl, Regular Rotom, Gardevoir, Alolan Persian, Breloom, and a Durant. This should have already appeared to your right. Looking at his team, of course, well, firstly, that his Z-move users are Celesteela and his regular Rotom. It's pretty much the exact same team that we faced before. So yeah, this is I guess you could say a rematch because we faced once in the regular season. So he actually beat us then with some really nice prep overall, and I guess kind of my under prep versus his team. And he had a really good matchup then based on the sets that he brought. And I mean, like looking at his team, of course, it's very solid overall. Even though he didn't change anything on his team, his matchup is solid. So I figure the best way to beat a matchup that's not in your favor, especially for the second time, is to bring some straight heat. All right, let me show you guys what I got here. Of course, you know, I'm a little worried about this match, of course, because there's just so much on his team that's just really nice versus mine. So I'm trying to prep in a way that can take him by surprise, and I think the surprise factor is going to help out a lot in this match. Of course, coupled with our, I guess, better playing, I think we have progressed pretty far, and hopefully we can get revenge on Jolt and win this game for the semifinals, winning the conference and making it to the finals. That should be fun. Let's see if we can do it. So let's go over the team that we got here. The way that I wanted to prep this time around, especially after reflecting on the last game that I played versus him in the regular season, I wanted to bring stuff that could break his fat. The last time we played, he brought a lot of fat mons, or a lot of Pokemon that can withstand hits and do some damage back. So I wanted to bring one of the best, if not the best, wall breaker that I have on my team, Hoopa-Unbound. I put a choice band on it because choice banded Hoopa, he has very limited switch-ins for. He'd have to run a super defensive Alolan Persian, and even that can't take a Drain Punch really well at all. Like Hydreigon gets 2-hit KO'd by Hyperspace Fury. It gets completely OHKO'd by Ice Punch and even Drain Punch as well. So I figured banded Hoopa-Unbound, it's going to be so cool in this match. I set it the speed so that we can outrun the previous Breloom set that he brought. I don't know if he's going to bring faster or slower or whatnot, but I figured that just a nice banded Hoopa-Unbound, which can actually take hits. This can actually sponge a Moonblast from Gardevoir as well, which is really clean from Modest Gardevoir. So, because its Spadef stat is really great, coupled with its attack, it's just super powerful. So Hyperspace Fury can break through that, especially since he brought some sub mons last time, like sub Celesteela. That thing was a big pain to deal with. So Hyperspace Fury, like it can go through Protect, it can go through Sub. With the banded, Adamant Nature attack stat here, we can actually we can literally 2-hit KO pretty much everything on his team, if not OHKO. Like Seismitoad gets blown back, Mega Venusaur gets blown back, Celesteela gets blown back, even Arcanine, even if it's defensive with Intimidate, that thing gets 2-hit KO'd as well. So this thing is really, I guess, sort of the way that I built this team around the Pokemon of Hoopa-Unbound, so that I can just break through walls on his team. I think that's really the approach that I want to go this time, and not really give him a chance to just sit there and get like Leech Seed me, or just, I don't know, absorb hits from my Pokemon, which was basically what happened last time, which is like why I couldn't really play around it. So that's my approach this time. So Hoopa-Unbound, like I said, I mean, we have Zen Headbutt for the Mega Venusaur. I have Drain Punch and Ice Punch. Like Ice Punch is great versus Breloom, Hydreigon, things like that. While Drain Punch is great solely, I guess, versus Hydreigon mainly, the dark types, like, and as well as Alolan Persian, while also giving me some recovery. So I do have a lot of options on this set and what I want to lock myself into, but mainly going to be Hyperspace Fury most of the time. He barely has any switch into this thing. Because Hoopa-Unbound, I mean, that's what it is. Like, Hoopa-Unbound barely has any switch-ins to begin with, so that's why I really like this Pokemon a lot. Next one we got here is going to be my Magmortar. So this is a really heat set here. We got Belly Drum, 3 attacks, and the reason I wanted to bring this set was because looking at his team, after a Belly Drum, there's not much he has for it. If we're at +6, well, of course, the speed here with a Flame Charge allows us to outrun his max speed Aerodactyl, which is really great because Return does more than Mach Punch, which can be more useful since Return is like a move that, I mean, it's not a stab move or anything, but at +6, it does some really good damage. It's a really great filler move or a coverage move for this thing, because at +6, there are not a lot of Seismitoad spreads that can live a Return. Like it has to be like max HP, max defense, and he can't do that because he needs Spadef, I'm guessing, for my electric types like Koko or Raichu and things like that, or just to sponge HP grasses or grass knots and stuff. So this thing will blow Seismitoad back at +6, and he may be expecting a special attacking set with this Pokemon here. With Flame Charge, we're faster than some Gardevoir sets. We're faster than some I guess, of course, Aerodactyl are faster than. Persian can be faster than. I don't know, like this thing, it sets up Belly Drum. Flame Charge does so much damage. It OHKO Celesteela, while Mach Punch can blow back Hydreigon, especially Scarf Hydreigon, which is why I do have Mach Punch here, so that I can either pick off a weakened Hydreigon, or if it Belly Drums, it can just completely OHKO it, while, you know, we have Return so that we can deal with things that Flame Charge and Mach Punch can't deal with, as well as just mainly his fatter mons, I guess. Once activated, we'll get back to 75% health, since Citrus Berry gives us a fourth of our health back after we Belly Drum, so it's really cool. I think it's a really fun set. I've been saving this. I've been thinking about bringing Belly Drum ever since I drafted Magmortar, and I know people have been saying, you know, you should bring a Belly Drum set sometime. This is that time right now, okay? This is that time, so I'm really hoping it works out for the match tomorrow. Next we got here Tapu Koko. So I am bringing Koko, and I'm bringing a physical Koko because last time I think the special Koko was a little bit, it kind of got stopped a little bit easier by stuff like AV Gardevoir, Seismitoad, things like that. With this set here, so this is another wall-breaking Koko. We have the Tapunium Z with Nature's Madness. This thing will turn into Guardian of Alola. So Nature's Madness, of course, doing 50% of the current HP on your opponent, on the opposing side. With the Z move, it becomes 75%. So this thing will wall break through Seismitoad. It'll wall break through Mega Venusaur. And then we can pick it off like that with a Brave Bird, because Brave Bird does more than whatever remaining HP they will have. So it will 2-hit KO. This set here, 2-hit KOs every Pokemon on his team. Every single Pokemon on his team with 2 KOs. I guess, I don't know, maybe not Arcanine. Actually, no, it does. It definitely does. Even if it's like defensive Arcanine with Intimidate. Nature's Madness does like 75 to that. Wild Charge will pick it off then after that. So only things that are faster, I guess, than Koko, or things that can that are already in, you know, that's kind of the threat to this thing. But other than that, like, I think Nature's Madness is great versus his fatter Pokemon, which I had tougher time breaking last time. If he brings like a completely offensive team, that'll probably be a little tougher to play around, but we do have a pretty solid defensive backbone, so I'll show you guys that right now. Other than like that, I guess the speed wise, I have it to speed tie Max Speed Aerodactyl, which he did bring last time. I'm guessing he'll bring it this time as well to check Mega Pinsir, which is why I didn't bring Mega Pinsir at all, because I think bringing Mega Pinsir last time was kind of a mistake, since he had stuff like Celesteela and I don't know, like Aerodactyl, things like that could really be problematic, so I did leave it behind this time. Also left behind Raichu as well, because he has stuff like Gardevoir, which can either be AV or Scarf or something, and then he'll be able to copy my my Surge Surfer with his Trace and then be faster under terrain, so I don't want another repeat of that like last time. So I'm trying to learn from what happened last time and adapt to it in this time. Hopefully it'll make the difference when we go into that match. But yeah, this is basically my offensive structure here with the Hoopa, Magmortar, and Tapu Koko. Let us move on to the last 3 Pokemon. And as you can see, we got here Best Defogger with the Chople Berry this time instead of Shucka, because I figured that Shucka Berry is nice, I guess, versus Seismitoad, but like, if I can't really do much versus, for instance, Aerodactyl's Earthquake, because it's running Unnerve. So if he brings Aerodactyl, it'll have Unnerve, so I don't think that Shucka Berry will be more useful. I think Chople is better because of the fact that if he brings, for instance, a Durant and it has Superpower, which is his best attack versus like my team that would wall his stab moves, which are Steel and Bug. If he brings like Durant or something, that could be annoying, so I want to check for that, as well as I guess Breloom, we can check that pretty decently. Check the Mach Punch and maybe Ice Beam it as well. So I think Chople is better. Even like Gardevoir might want to run Focus Blast this time, I guess. I don't know, like he might do something like that. That's why I think Chople Berry is better. Versus Seismitoad, I have a decent switch in Silvally Dragon, which can actually sponge Earthquakes and stuff pretty well. But I think that Empoleon is better with the Chople. We have 3 attacks and Stealth Rocks here, so I mean, Best Defogger not running Defog, of course. I mean, most of the time, or many of the time, Best Defogger doesn't even need to run Defog to show that it's you know, just to show it it's the best Defogger. You know what I mean? It's the best Defogger one way or another. We have Stealth Rocks here so that it can get those hazards up if we can to chip away at his team, which will be really useful. It's another mistake that I made last time. I didn't get up rocks sooner when I should have, and it definitely cost me in that first match versus Jolt. So I think this time, if I don't, I mean, it's good to have. It's good to have. Depending on his team, if I need to set it up or not, I think it'll be good to have here. Surf, Ice Beam, Grass Knot, my 3 attacks, which, I mean, I have a lot of bulk. So the 28 defense is just so that we can live a +1 superpower, I think, from Durant with the Chople Berry. So that could be really helpful. I forgot what I set this for. Actually, no, I set Silvally to take Durant. I think I set this defense so that I can sponge Aerodactyl as well, like Earthquakes and stuff from that. From full HP, it can take it. So mainly the Spadef, I guess, is there so that we can sponge hits from Gardevoir, as well as other Pokemon such as, I guess, Mega Venusaur's Giga Drain, I guess, Celesteela's, I don't know, Fire Blast, Air/Flash Cannon if it's a special attacker. So this is like my sponge for special attacks. We have enough speed so that we can outrun Sassy or Relaxed Seismitoad, because there's no point in running so many IVs to outrun a speedy Seismitoad. So I just want to run the bare minimum, outrun the bare minimum, which is a min speed Seismitoad. So that's why I have that. Other than that, let's move on to second best defogger here, which is going to be Baby Chimp, the Gligar. And I'm running a bit of attack on this thing. Reason is because I kind of went through and scouted out his past matches and stuff, and I've seen some bulky Brelooms here and there come, and I'm like, okay, so I definitely want to be sure that I can OHKO any kind of Breloom that he brings with this thing, because Breloom's like a very scary mon, and I've seen that thing put in a lot of work, especially this season. And I definitely don't want to lose to that, especially with my team. When I'm not bringing a Mungus or Pinsir because they're just not good overall in the matchup, I still want ways of checking something like a Breloom, or even picking off Mega Venusaurs that are weakened and stuff, the Aerial Ace. I'm running that over Acro because for Acrobatics, I have to get knocked off first, and I can't really just rely on situations like that. I need a guaranteed way of doing it. So Aerial Ace with the +5 base power makes all the difference here. Allows me to also pump some EVs in Spadef as well, because I have a naturally good defense. I want to be able to sponge hits from stuff like Gardevoir, stuff like Rotom, from Hydreigon, things like that, and even like Venusaur, I guess. Being able to sponge those is really useful, while also having like knockoff to get rid of items like Scarfs on Hydreigon or Gardevoir. U-turn from Momentum, which is really nice in order to get into Hoopa. Pokemon like Koko, Pokemon like Gligar, and even Silvally, they're just so great in pivoting into things like, or pivoting in and then giving us momentum to go into things like Hoopa or Magmortar or Koko, so that we can punish whatever comes in. So I think that's going to be really what we're trying to do in this match here. So yeah, other than that, Gligar's just basic pivot. It just sponges attacks that we need to. It gives us an electric and ground immunity, which our team severely needed, which is why I didn't bring Raichu as well, just because I feel like he'll really prep for Raichu. He did prep for it really well last time, and I think this time it's going to be no difference. So that's kind of why I do have the Gligar instead, and I think that's going to be great to help us out versus his team. Now let's move on. So we talked about first best, second best defogger. Now we got third best defogger, which actually does have defog here, so let's talk about this guy. Silvally Dragon is what I wanted to bring. Very interesting type, I would say, very heat. And so like I wanted to sponge for stuff like water, grass, fire, things like that. Like that can really, like some kinds of types that can really be problematic. Like for instance, fire from Arcanine. I don't really have a great answer because Magmortar is a pretty bad defense. Doesn't really take flare blitzes too well from an Arcanine, especially if rocks are up and stuff. Silvally Dragon can sponge that really well. The Durant calc I was talking about was on Silvally actually. So the 76 in defense will be able to live a +1 Durant's Iron Head or X-Scissor, and we'll be able to knock it out with a Flamethrower. So that's really good, really useful with the HP investment here. With 68 special attack, we can OHKO Durant, 2-hit KO Breloom and stuff, and Draco Meteors are nice as well for dropping on Pokemon such as Seismitoad or Hydreigon, even Arcanine, I guess. The defog is on this Pokemon because I wanted all my coverage on Empoleon, as well as all my coverage on Gligar, because I needed momentum on Gligar so that this team can work out really well. I forgot to nickname Silvally. Let me nickname it. There we go. Yeah, so I think you know, that Arceus is a great, especially like with Parting Shot, it makes it one of the best pivots on my team to give us momentum to just sponge an attack, because this thing can, it's sort of like a very universal sort of pivot, because this, like, Dragon's a great typing versus his team, even though it's not good versus his Gardevoir. Everything else it can kind of just sponge pretty well. Or maybe I guess not really his Hydreigon, but like Venusaur can come in like Giga Drain. Seismitoad can pretty much sponge Earthquakes and Scalds and things like that. I don't know, like Volt Switches from Rotom, Flare Blitzes from Arcanine, and I just really like it a lot, I think. And I think that it can put in some work here with Parting Shot, being able to reduce the opponent's attack and special attack, and then getting us into something like Belly Drum, Magmortar, or like clearing hazards as well. Like this really what this thing is all about. I've been testing this team a lot, or I guess kind of a lot, since I've had a busy work week and stuff, but from the times that I tested it, it's put in work, so I feel pretty confident with this team, and I'm hoping that it can put in work. So we'll see if that can happen. I don't know what to expect him to bring, to be honest, because his prep is really great. I'll just say that I think that we're making the right approach with this team, and I'm hoping that it'll put in the work that we need. So hope y'all are excited for the match going up tomorrow, 24 hours from this video, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you're there for the semifinals, and let's hope that we can make it to the finals for another chance at the title, the championship. We'll see if we can do it. That's going to be it from me. I will see you guys tomorrow for the battle, and peace.